Hey dumplings, it's Dave Desai. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to get into HYBE and their recent new BTS endeavor involving Wattpad, as we all know, and there's some concerns about this. So I wanted to talk about it. I also want to get into Jungkook getting a little risque and us seeing all his new tats. So, hater or not, make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on. Grab your dumpling, spoiling mug merch, and let's get into it. The first thing that I wanted to get into is Wattpad. Now, if you don't know what Wattpad is, and funny enough, Wattpad is widely used in the world among many different fandoms and even just regular books and story writers. They are very commonly used in K-pop to fulfill some sort of fandom fantasy. This isn't a bad thing. Fans will take stories of many different artists that they like and ship them together to make cute romantic stories. Given that they are some that take it too far, but the popular ones I've seen are usually just harmless and regular stories. Those who sit there and describe the gay intimate moments, not a huge fan of those, like in general anyway. I don't read those types of books, but if you want to do it, more power to you. But this was kind of the concern when it was announced that Wattpad, Webtoons, and HYBE were doing a collaboration together for BTS. Most people's first reaction is that they don't want the show to happen, and even more so, they were saying that they don't want BTS on Wattpad at all because the stories on Wattpad are, as I just described, very risque, and they don't want the boys to read them. However, you can disagree, but I do believe the boys have long known about fictional stories about them. This is such a common thing in K-pop that I think it was SM that announced their first ever fanfic contest back in 2006. People know that this part of the fandom exists, and this is why celebrities show a lot of what we consider fan service. Two members hugging each other or touching each other very obviously on camera. This happens a lot in girl groups especially, and it was even weirder for fans when HYBE decided to allegedly use a popular adult Wattpad story cover photo in their promotion when they had spoken about BTS doing this collaboration. I don't know what the adult story is or what it's about, so I can't talk about that. Given the nature of Wattpad, fans have been very conscious of the story that BTS is doing. Recently, they are gearing up closer and closer to the release of the 7 Fates, and they released some BTS interviews on their channel. I believe it's their official channel. They are releasing individual interviews of each of the members, and the members talk about their role in the 7 Fates. They also released the date and time of when it will all be released, which is in a few days, so get excited. I was weirded out by the fact that these videos have so little views. Are people not as excited for this release as I am? I think it'll be so cool to see BTS in this environment and doing a story type of thing. The two interviews that people were talking about were Taeyang and Jungkook, of course, given the nature of the story platform and the fact that a lot of the stories on there are about Taeyang and Jungkook. This, of course, makes sense. In Taeyang's interview, he talked about how his characters ends up falling in love with a biome. Initially, I thought this was a name, but no, it is a character description, as the story is about people who are human, but also some that are tigers and other species. Biome means tiger, I believe. Taeyang continues to talk about how the story is about forbidden love, and the story about the love between a hunter and the hunted. This, of course, is very Wattpad. There's so many stories on the platform that either range from a helpless secretary and falling in love with a CEO, very 50 Shades of Grey, and then, of course, stories of falling in love with a half-human, half-whatever, right? Like Twilight. People then also took Jungkook's interview and talked about what he said, being that Jungkook is apparently not entirely human in the story, half-human and half-tiger. People then, of course, took the two stories and put them together to say that Taeyang is going to end up falling in love with a half-tiger or Jungkook. People were then, of course, mad that the story would go in this direction and would have a gay scene or whatever, and asking HYBE to remove it as they were initially scared of gay stuff and adult-themed stuff to be centered around BTS. But we don't have confirmation that this is the story, and we don't know for sure. It would be an absolute shame to remove or delete something that the boys have worked so hard on and making the story and everything, just because we're attacking it before it comes out. I mean, even after the announcement of Wattpad happening, people were protesting it. And I was just sitting there like, let's see what this is about first. It's interesting because this theory was also very quickly debunked when people started to realize that Jungkook was actually supposed to be playing the son or kid of Taeyang, and Taeyang might actually be the father. Since Jungkook is half human, it could be referring to the fact that Taeyang married a human and they birthed a half human, half not. And I think this is probably going to be the story. I don't know if HYBE or Big Hit would make something this risque, given that in Korea the gay scene is not as accepted yet. Although, is this a story for a Korean audience? Is Wattpad in general for a Korean audience? I don't know. All of this will be released while BTS is on break, and it's so interesting because I am definitely all for them taking a break, but they definitely won't be on a break, since once this drops, once anything drops, I imagine news outlets will be reaching out to get them to talk about it, and if it gets bigger, they're going to get other offers, and maybe even bigger acting opportunities. While this is all good stuff, it may even cut their break shorter. Even just the the fact that once it drops, they may want to sit there and read the comments. That can be something that takes away from the break. I love that they're releasing stuff, but I hope they're having an efficient break before they come back and things get crazy again. Jungkook seems to be really loving his break and really taking his time to learn another skill or perfect an older skill he had. You're like, which one, right? He has so many. Well, I'm talking about boxing. He just released another boxing video, which is so fun and fresh. We'll love it. It's so fun to see him box and really become so good. Like, he looks so professional. Even just counting how many punches he is throwing in a few seconds, you'd see how good he is. He recently posted a video with his trainer, and it was a cute clip that he posted on Instagram. As always, when these clips happen, people freak out and people die. There are people dying over this clip. It's really tragic, but it's the best way to go, I think, dreaming about Jungkook boxing. Joking aside, he was wearing no sleeves, which made ARMY go even crazier. It was like his last boxing clip did so well and everyone was talking about it. He was like, what can I do to go even more viral this time? To get even more people talking about me? Let's be sleeveless. He probably didn't actually say that, but I think it's funny. What's even more awesome is that this is the first time we have seen him sleeveless since he has gotten any tattoos. We had no idea how far his tattoos really went. I don't think so. And from this little clip, we are able to see it goes up to his shoulders, and we actually see the whole perspective of the arm. It's a really great view, honestly. And honestly, more than I can even hope for. I've been praying to the gods that we get a view of his tattoo and we see what they are and how many he has. There's for sure some that I haven't seen before, and I am sure this has confirmed a lot of the speculation on what he may have. People were going to be hyperventilating over the fact that Jungkook is boxing, and then people were going to die over the fact that we even saw one big, and it's big, bare arm and see his muscles. And then people were going to talk about how hot he is and all that, because he is always covered up. He never takes a shirt off, even swimming, and we never see anything. In Korea, it's a big no-no to take your shirt off, men or women, and it's definitely even censored when the boys show belly button or too much arm. The fact that we see that is crazy. Also, tattoos are censored, so the fact that Jungkook is showing us all really shows that he doesn't care anymore and wants us to see it. And I am all for that. I love that. Jungkook literally dropped this clip and then just chucked his phone away. He was like, let the children die. And he woke up the next morning to a storm online and people were trending him and all that. Just casually being talked about among 50 different news sites, no biggie at all. And look, I'm not complaining about this. I love the fact that the boys are being talked about. I hope for nothing less, and I hope that they keep getting talked about, because while they're not creating any music, I want their name to still be alive. I think one of the biggest fears they had for not taking many breaks, which is probably a big reason why they haven't taken that many breaks in their career, is because they're afraid of being forgotten. But they'll realize that they can still take a break and be talked about and be first of mind, because whatever they do is going to cause a big frenzy anyway. They can literally just walk down the street. Oh my god, Jungkook is walking. He is such a model. And then the news sites post about how so many armies are in cardiac arrest. Let me know what you think, and if you want to see more K-pop reaction videos, go to my Patreon, a link below. I can't post them here due to copyright, but you can get all sorts of reaction videos and requests over there. It's a great way to support the channel even more if you would like to. Thank you so much for this lovely comment. I love you so much. There will be some videos that will pop up on screen at the end of this video, and I'll see you over there. Bye.